Hey, what's up you guys? David here once again for another video on the Life of Pat channel. And I know you guys are maybe wondering why it's called Life of Pat now. It's because Patterson, Pat, is short, it's easy to remember. So I was going through kind of my mind data bank and a lot of people were asking for more kind of life stories on That Dude in Blue, but I think I'm gonna focus those more onto this channel, and I just thought of a really juicy one. This one is one of those things where I've not talked about it since it actually happened, and it actually happened over 10 years ago. I want you to rewind all the way back to like 2007. And I am just this awkward, frameless glasses, buzzed haircut David Patterson. I don't know how to really talk to people. I'm very awkward. You hear this all the time on YouTube from people going, oh, you know, like I used to be really anxious and like all this stuff. But no, seriously, a lot of us YouTube creators just didn't socialize well with other people, and we kind of turned YouTube into our outlet and somebody to talk to. Which sounds very unhealthy, but it actually turned out for the better. Before that, I used to make crazy YouTube videos. I used to make these crazy special effects videos with lightsabers and gunfights and stuff like that. And it was kind of the one thing I knew how to do at the time. I was like, well, if I want to get into film later, this is back when YouTube really didn't have a partnership program or anything like that, well, I need to go to film school probably later. So I should probably take like a theater class or something. So for my elective in high school, I take a theater class. I'm in 10th grade, and everybody else in the room on the first day are freshmen. So I'm already kind of the odd one out. I'm a little bit older than everybody else. And in comes our teacher. Now with this story, I'm not gonna use any real names just so I don't embarrass anybody, but we'll call my teacher Jerry. Jerry, the drama teacher, came in, he was all suited up, and I was like, whoa, this guy's serious. The entire class gets quiet, and he starts going on this long tangent about art and abstract and theater and all this kind of stuff. I would probably say he's one of those people that would see some paint splatters on a sheet of paper and go, wow, this really speaks to me. Abstract, very serious about the art form of theater and everything else. And I'm just over here like, dude, just teach me how to act better so I can probably use it in the future. Or just teach me how to direct people later if I want to do that later. Well, it ends up being this really odd, long lecture. If somebody was out of line in the class, which they were a lot, he would not yell at them, he would just stare at them. He would go really close to them and just stare and just have this really vicious like glare at them. And it intimidated you. You know, if you're 16 years old or 17 years old, you're like, okay, I didn't mean to piss you off. Like, I'm sorry. I was overall the quiet kid in class, but the first day with the long lecture I was telling you about, I couldn't stop laughing. My face was blood red because I thought it was just so ridiculous. He was jumping off our desk and saying, you know, this is art and all this stuff. And throughout the year, he would continuously do these weird stares at people where it would intimidate them. Or at the same time, he would just do very interesting things. You know, he would go over the top with acting. He would just go absolutely nuts, like next level, like to the point where you're just like scratching your head like, I don't think that's a real thing, you know? Somebody made up a joke, yeah, I wonder if somebody filmed this one day. And I overheard that. And knowing I could use cameras, this is back when mini DV tapes were really big, I was like, I wonder if I could. And then fast forward to like 6 months later, I took a backpack with another student, took a backpack, cut a hole out, then popped the lens. The lens was only like this big. Popped the lens, and it looked like a button under a backpack. You know how some backpacks have the buttons right on the bottom. If he does anything that's kind of strange or whatever, we'll have the camera, but oh my God. He comes in, and he goes, today we're gonna learn about pantomime. I'm like, okay, cool, pantomiming. Yeah, just, you know, okay. And he disappears. He goes into the dressing room for like 30 minutes. And you know, our classes are an hour and a half long, it was block scheduling, but everybody's like looking around like, what is he doing? And he finally comes out and he's dressed as a mime and he starts doing all the things. He doesn't say a word to anybody because he's in character, if you know what I mean. Like he's super in character. He's like, no, I refuse to say anything to a student. I am a mime. The funny thing is though, is I'm not filming it. The student behind me is filming it, and he's spinning the backpack like this wherever he's going, very subtly, like this. I go home and I decide to just have fun with it as an experiment. And there was a shot of him looking down at a student when he got really mad, and I made his like hair catch on fire with special effects and stuff like that. It was super rude. Like, it was totally out of line to film him this way, but I was 16, you know, I didn't know. Eventually, I put it up on YouTube and I made it private so nobody could see it. And then one day I just made it public and just for a few more people to see, but I forgot to make it back to private. Fast forward about 3 weeks later, I am sitting in class and one of the students goes, "Hey, Jerry, I want to show you something." And on his laptop, in the front of class, he watched it. And I saw his eyes get bigger and bigger and bigger. And I was like, oh my God. I have never been in trouble in school. I've never even gotten detention before. Like, I was an angel. Like, you could see my halo from space. I never talked back to teachers. I never did any of that. So I was so scared. He slams his laptop down and goes, "I know it was this class. Who did it?" Here's the problem though. Do you remember when I said the other student was filming it? I was in the video. So I was in the desk right in front of him. He just, you know, I was out of the picture. So he's turning it, and he goes, "If the person that is responsible for this video doesn't speak up, you're all, you know, gonna get in big trouble." Now in hindsight, I'm like, I don't know if he could have done much, but at the same time, I respected it. And I was like, oh my God, my day is about to suck. I go, "You?" I go, "Yeah, it was me." And he goes, "You're not covering for anyone." I go, "No, I did it." And he goes, "It was you." I go, "Yeah, I did it." And he goes, "Come with me." So he pulls me into the hallway, pulls out his cell phone, he goes, flip phone, and he goes, "You're gonna call your mom right now and tell her what you did and delete the video. And with that, you won't get in big trouble." So he calls my mom and then tells what happened. Then I tell her what happened, and she is so mad at me, with every right. She thought I did something terrible. He goes, "Okay, that's good enough of me for an apology. That's fine. You know, thank you, just delete the video, and we're all good." I go, "Thank you, Jerry. I'm so sorry about this. I'm sorry that I maybe embarrassed you. Don't worry about it." I was also a tutor for elementary school kids that year for a club credit. And I went out to the elementary school and I was grading kids' papers and I was so frustrated. I was just like, oh my God, I'm so screwed. About 2 weeks go by, I'm in history class and my history teacher had this very monotone voice and I'm just falling asleep like this. The intercom comes on and goes, "David Patterson to the front office, please." And the teacher goes, "David, you gotta go?" I'm like, yeah, I do. I go up there and it's a counselor. It's the 9th grade counselor. And the 9th grade counselor goes, "David, I'm gonna need you to sit down. I need you to write an entire report of what happened with your whole video thing." I'm like, oh, you snitch. He gave me his word. And what I did was really messed up, but still, he gave me his word and I confessed. And then he went and ratted me out to the office. He does that, and the 9th grade counselor is unaware I'm not a 9th grader, and I take advantage of this. This is like David espionage. He goes, "Okay, I know it's like your first year in high school. I know things happen. You made a mistake. I just need you to, you know, write about everything that happened, including the other student that's responsible because we saw, you know, you in the video, blah, blah, blah. He won't get in much trouble either, don't worry." And I'm like, whatever, it's too late now. The 9th grade counselor was actually much nicer than the 10th grade. He had a lot more grace than the 10th grade counselor. So I definitely needed to take advantage of that. I go ahead, get that all done. Another week goes by and he goes, "David Patterson to the office." I'm like, oh my God. All right, so Jerry has decided not to press charges on you for a lawsuit of invading privacy. I'm like, oh my God. I didn't think it was gonna get to this level. But here's the catch. This teacher had so many complaints from students for intimidation that he eventually was let go. And my video proved it. It proved that they were kind of intimidating students with a weird glare and, you know, kind of looking down on them at a very close proximity. The school didn't appreciate that. So aside from all the special effects and everything, they took note of that. Essentially, I ended up finding out that he would be let go or he would leave within the next year. I actually don't know what happened, but he was gone in the next year. I'm talking to the 9th grade counselor and he goes, listen, dude, you're a really good kid. I can see on your record, this is like your first mess up. And I want you to choose out of these options what your punishment will be. I will give you that grace. 1 detention a week or whatever. There was a 1 to 3 day suspension. And he goes, listen, I know the suspension will look bad on your record, but it's really gonna be gone once you're to college. He goes, listen, we have the field day coming up. If you choose the suspension, you're gonna have to clean up the field day as well. I go, okay, but what day do I get suspended? I want you to choose the day you're suspended. And me hating school, I hated school. I was just not comfortable in school. I felt like a sheep in a herd and I just hated being there. So I instantly chose suspension. The 9th grade counselor was so nice that he let me go down to 1 day. He goes, okay, pick the day you want. And I picked it on a 3-day weekend and I made it a 4-day weekend. So, whew, oh my God. My dad ended up coming to the school without me knowing and went to talk to the counselor. And my dad let it slip that I was a 10th grader instead of a 9th grader. And he was just like, oh, well, you know, that doesn't change too much, but yeah, I wasn't aware. I go clean up the field day with the other student, and I ended up hanging out with the janitor all day after school, and he was this super cool guy. We ended up driving golf carts around the track. It was just funny. It was the best of a bad situation. Getting in trouble sucks, but you can always make light of what happened. But at the same time, I strongly encourage, don't get yourself in trouble on purpose, nor take a risk like I did. Filming somebody without permission is a huge no-no in the law. Like, you should not do that. There's other YouTubers who have doxed other people, and that's a perfect example. Like filming somebody's house without permission, filming all these things, and I filmed a human being without their permission. But then on the same time, I caught them doing something that was strange and making kids uncomfortable. So where do you meet in the middle with that? Guys, I hope you all enjoyed this, and make sure to subscribe for some more. If you like these kind of stories, please let me know. I'll tell you everything I got on this channel, and I'll see you guys next time, and take it easy. Have a fantastic day. I will upload on this channel once a week from now on, so stay tuned. Goodbye.